Hello, I'm Elle. I will be presenting the Try Guy scandal for my cultural critique presentation. I do feel like this specific scandal broke immensely, I would say. I think it was way too much coverage that was on something like this, but we'll go ahead and we'll get started. Thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate it. I feel much better, so I'm excited to start talking about this. What's a Try Guy? Let's talk about that. So Keith, I guess you can see my screen here. Keith, the middle one. Then we have Ned Fulmer. We don't talk about him. He's the black sheep now. Zach and Eugene Lee Yang, they are YouTubers. They originally started off working with BuzzFeed, making videos for BuzzFeed, and that was in 2014. During their time there, they accumulated millions of views, eventually forming what's called the Try Guys, which is their channel, their brand, their team. They launched their Try Guys channel separately from BuzzFeed when they leave in 2018. And they formed their own production company. And so currently we're looking at a Try Guys channel is around 8 million followers on every platform. So now that we've established what a Try Guy is and who these men are and why people are, why they're famous, right? We can move on to meat and potatoes here, which is Ned Fulmer and Ariel Fulmer. So this is Ned Fulmer. He is an OG. He started the Try Guys with them and worked with them for several years. I'm gonna say at least 10 years now, just because the Try Guys formed in 2014 through BuzzFeed. As you can see, I've written here that he's known as the wife guy of the group. I am not exaggerating when I say
My wife.
He is the wife guy. His whole personality is centered around loving his wife, being faithful to his wife, talking about his wife. As Ned and Ariel's relationship progressed, fans became invested, and the Try Guys noticed that fans were invested in their relationship because when the Try Guys started, Ned and Ariel were not yet married. So the Try Guys released multiple videos. We're talking multiple videos, like series of videos of Ned and his wife going wedding cake shopping, Ned and his wife finding a venue for their wedding, Ned and his wife's pregnancy, Ned and his wife paint the baby room. Like, there are video after video after video into their life, into their relationship. So it's unavoidable that key term here, parasocial relationships, would form, such as a celebrity or a fictional character, but in this case, YouTubers, right? People love them. And because they have such a wholesome, charismatic, and camaraderie to them, I can see why people would feel like they can develop social or parasocial relationships with these men, with these YouTubers, I should say. Aside from uploading the wedding and the baby and the family videos, they're also on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Be Real, whatever is popular these days, right, in terms of applications. So parasocial relationships do form in this sense, especially when you have so many eyes looking into your personal life. How did the drama unfold? And it sucks that I have to put a photo of a man being unfaithful to his wife up here, just a disclaimer, but I felt like you need to see the photo and feel the same shock that the public had, the general public had for Ned Fulmer and for the Try Guys in general. So September 14th, these photos are leaked right here that we're seeing on the screen. Alex Herring, which is the BuzzFeed's assistant, employee speaking, she is below the Try Guys, but they're seen here kissing and dancing, and it's not even like they're trying to hide it. Like, they did this fully at a Harry Styles concert, and several fans recognized them and went up and posted photos, and this is how it happens, right? The fans are involved. Fans are posting it on Reddit, they're posting it on social media, but they're also tagging Ned Fulmer's wife and the other individual Try Guys as well. So it's a very messy situation where the fans feel inclined to reach out to the rest of the employees, right? And say, hey, what's going on here? And so nobody really knew if it was real until they confirmed the rumors here. Try Guys made a public statement here on the Instagram and then almost immediately started working on removing Ned from any future videos, any past videos, deleting those series of Ned and Ariel and their whole family stuff on YouTube. And so, the Try Guys confirm it, then Ned confirms it, and he comes out with this BS, notes, apology, talking about how he lost focus in his relationship and how he's sorry, yada, 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 whatever. So the scandal goes viral, incredibly viral. Like, as we see here, we have SNL talking about it. And when SNL talks about a scandal, it's big. It's surpassed the world of Twitter at this point. But as you can see here, Twitter did have fun with it. When we think about Ned Fulmer, we think about a white, straight, cis male guy who, I don't want to say had it completely easy in life, but if we're comparing Eugene Lee Yang, who is the one that is the most pissed off in their official response video, and we compare this to the images that were seen just days after the news broke of Ned and his wife Ariel. There's a word for it. They're acting nonchalant as if none of this ever happened. They intend to work on their marriage, and it doesn't seem like they're getting a divorce anytime soon. At the end of the day, that's up to them. But when someone of this magnitude, right, the audience that the Try Guys has, makes a mistake and is so careless about this, there are consequences that aren't just inflicted upon Ned, but the rest of the Try Guys themselves. More specifically, Eugene Lee Yang, because I'll go back to the second slide here. As you can see, these are all white men, right? And Eugene Lee Yang is the only gay Asian man on this team, and he's the one who's the most pissed off. Why? Because meritocracy. Here's another keyword that I kind of want to go over. So meritocracy is the idea that in individuals' hard work, pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, can lead to what's called unlimited success in the desired field or industry. As you can see, there's a disclaimer here in my slideshow. It says that it assumes that we are all the same, right? But we're not. And so that's why this is so important, because as you can see, Ned Fulmer, not a care in the world, walking around holding his wife's hand, going grocery shopping, while Eugene Lee Yang, he's the one who founded this, and he's the one who has the most to lose. Cancel culture, which is described the mass withdrawal of support from public figures or celebrities who've done things that are not socially acceptable, such as cheating on your wife. That's why we've canceled him. But as you can see, cancel culture doesn't always work. People still end up living their normal daily lives. We think about cancel culture and ask if it really is effective. It's worth asking what motivates change, and it certainly allows us to talk about what it is that's wrong and call people out for their bullshit like that. We see that social media has certainly changed the way that we communicate. It provides us more ways to communicate and connect than ever before. But it's also dividing us, and it's allowing us to focus all our energy into something like a scandal such as this one. That's how it's always been, even before the internet. We had people calling celebrities out for their bullshit. So this is not anything new. People who are in this privileged position are certainly not immune to making mistakes. They have to roll with the punches somehow. So even though Ned's been officially canceled, removed, they have still lost money from this incident. So we know that they lost money over Ned's affair, not only from the people who have stopped supporting them, but also from having to refilm, re-edit, or just delete videos with millions and millions of views. So much so that they are literally editing Ned with a giant pink elephant in some of these videos that they cannot afford to lose, or that they cannot afford to digitally remove him from. But the biggest loss makes me feel so sad for the Try Guys, because this is where it affects them in primetime TV, in the context of primetime TV. So the Try Guys did have a show with the Food Network. It was very popular until the news broke out, they took a major hit with this specific show. As you can see here, the show was regularly scheduled to air Wednesdays at 10 p.m. That is a very good primetime spot to have, or a slot to have. But the news broke, and immediately Food Network pulled it. They said, you know what? Instead of having you in this primetime slot, we'll put you Fridays at 10 a.m., which is a devastating blow to that viewership. As you can see, it was moved to a weekday morning slot, which effectively buries it in the entire Food Network's programming. Like, I can tell you Fridays at 10 a.m. I'm not available and I'm not watching TV. And this show is actually the least of the Food Network's concerns. It's not yet been picked up for a second season. It might never be. And that might be because of Ned Fulmer. So my final thoughts here, a couple things to think about as I wrap up my presentation, is that I believe that cancel culture and us paying attention and calling people out on their bullshit, it is a good thing. It's an act of activism, I'll say, but it's definitely not something that should be used, or the energy that we put into it should not be used for something as minuscule as a scandal, a cheating affair. For Ned Fulmer, a YouTuber who I guarantee that when people heard about this, they didn't know who Ned Fulmer was. They didn't know who the Try Guys were. As you can see, Seth Rogen was even confused about the situation. Cancel culture is effective. It should be effective as long as we use it for larger issues. We're talking about crime, hate speech, negative behaviors that we as a society should be picking out and saying, you know what, people in power shouldn't be able to do that. That's what I think cancel culture should be. And then Ned Fulmer's infidelity caused major consequences to the Try Guys image. It did, because of how much attention that this specific scandal received. And why did it receive this much attention? Because of parasocial relationships and people feeling like they are now involved. They are a part of the Try Guys family and they feel betrayed. And so stuff like this happens. But the attention that this specific scandal received compared to any other cheating scandal, Leonardo DiCaprio, all of these major actors or major people in the industry that have not received this much attention. And so my question for you guys is, how different do you think that this ending would be if we had effectively deplatformed Ned and just moved on? Because why continue to make the memes? Why continue to put this in the public discourse when it's not creating any kind of positive change and we're not really benefiting from something like this? So that is my final thought for you today. Here's my works cited, and I had some research here in the rough draft for you. Thank you for being so patient with me and allowing me to record my own presentation. I had such a wonderful time learning about primetime TV in your class, and you are such a wonderful professor. Honestly, you are such a gem, and I wish you all the best, and maybe we'll cross paths. Good night and goodbye.